Welcome to podcast number 225. Are you heading towards mandating software? If so, please stay with us. I want to talk to you about it first.
This is the Elevate Construction Podcast, delivering remarkable content for workers, leaders, and companies in construction wanting to take their next step. Get ready to step out of your comfort zone with Jason Schroeder as he encourages you to do better, live a remarkable life, and expect more. Let's go.
Welcome, everyone. I hope you're doing well. Today's topic is talking about not mandating software. So this is actually not like a lectury, whiny kind of a podcast. This is actually just a sincere and loving warning from me. Warning, not like warning like threat, but like a like, hey, heads up. This isn't a good thing. If you head in this direction, you could be, hurting people. And we really, that sounds dramatic, but I'm being serious. I really want to warn us about some of these things. And so I want to cover that today in today's podcast. So I really hope that you enjoy the content, because mandating certain types of applications just really, really, really hurts the field in some instances and takes us in a really bad direction. So let's first talk about a couple of things. I love opening the podcast with some personal touches here. First and foremost, I'm super, super stoked about the fact that Elevating Construction Takt Planning, the book is out on Kindle and Amazon paperback. And so it's got a beautiful cover. I've proofed all the words. There are no errors. The editor went through. It's a fantastic book. It also has a really neat fable in there. You're really going to enjoy it. If you want to know about scheduling, you have to pick up this book. So if you really want to know about scheduling, this isn't me being condescending. I'm just saying what I've learned is, picking up some books like The Goal, The Toyota Way, Lean Thinking, making sure that you pick up Scrum, Getting Twice the Work Done in Half the Time, Elevating Construction Takt Planning. These are fantastic books when it comes to scheduling, to really know the spectrum of how to schedule projects and get things done and implement when it comes to production. So just wanted to throw that out for you. Here is why this is important. I've been to a number of projects where they asked me for help. Great people, great builders, wonderful teams. And they're complaining about the fact that the scheduling systems are just burdensome and frustrating, that it's really, really difficult. And I want to go there and immediately recover it with Takt Planning. Most of the time I can. Sometimes they're so far into it they don't want to. But the key is that if they had started in proposal phase, schematic design, then in design development with a Takt plan, a one-page overall schedule for the project first, and then if they have to use CPM, built the CPM off of that structure, and then headed into construction with those two holding each other accountable, then we can do so much good to reduce the load on teams. And so it's important to me that this book gets out there so that people know how to implement it. That's why I wrote it. So please pick up a copy. We'll have the audio out in probably, I'm hoping for 40 days, but now that I say that, it'll probably be 80 days. But anyway, Katie's recording it right now. It's going to be fantastic. So I had this little thing, and actually Katie found this for me. Here's a little bit of a reminder for us. There's a concept called Memento mori, and it's the most powerful philosophical tool in the world according to the article. And I thought it was pretty neat. So let me read this. Memento mori is a powerful philosophical tool for finding clarity and unlocking growth in your career, startup, business, writing, or relationships. Memento mori is a Latin phrase that translates to remember that you must die. A favorite of stoic philosophy, it is a reminder of the certainty and inescapability of death. It is not intended to be morbid or dark, rather to clarify, illuminate, and inspire. Memento mori, the idea of remembering your mortality, has been around for millennia. The phrase itself is believed to have originated in the Roman Empire. After military victories, the heroes were paraded through the streets on chariots. They may have felt like gods, but the Romans replaced one person in the chariot whose sole responsibility was to whisper in the hero's ear throughout the parade. Respice poste Hominem te esse memento, memento mori. Translation, look behind, remember thou art mortal, remember that you must die. Memento mori served as a tool to invoke humility in the moments of glory. It can also be a tool for providing clarity. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius famously wrote in his Meditations, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." Humans are inclined to hide from death, to push it to the back of our minds. Marcus Aurelius and other Stoic philosophers taught the opposite. Bring death to the front of your mind. Let your mortality serve to clarify your daily motivations. Let your mortality inspire you. Beyond the exact phrase, the idea of remembering our mortality has been a constant across time, culture, and religion. Death is the ultimate equalizer. We may look different, live in different places, and believe different things, but in the end, we are all the same. The inimitable, is that how you say it? Inimitable Steve Jobs talked about the power of acknowledging his own mortality in his 2005 commencement address at Stanford. Remembering that I'll be dead soon is the most important tool I've ever encountered to help me make the big choices in life. At the time of the address, Jobs had been battling a rare cancer, making his words all the more powerful. Almost everything just falls away in the face of death, leaving only what is truly important. You are already naked. There is no reason not to follow your heart. So as you face the coming days, weeks, months, and years of your life, always remember your own mortality. Remember how precious every day really is. Do not hide from it. Embrace it. Let it motivate and inspire you. Let it be a call to action. Memento mori. Here's why it's important to me. Obviously, these kinds of messages have been important to me as I start a business, and as I do things in my life, as I decide, should I say something, should I not? Should I put myself out there? Should I be out there on social media? Should I speak up for what is right? Should I stand up for what is right? And the answer is yes, because if I died tomorrow, would I have wished that I did those things? There are times in this podcast where I just become passionate, whether it's a good material or bad material or whatever, it's me, you know what I mean? And I just made a decision, whether I lose podcast listeners or I don't, I'm just going to be myself, because at the end of the day, I want people to connect who are ready to connect. And also I have to live according to my sole purpose and be who I need to be. Would I be acting the way I am acting now if I knew I was going to die tomorrow? And it's just a great reminder. So I recommend it to all of you. Are you waiting to start that business? Are you waiting to go ask for that promotion? Are you waiting to go read that book? Are you ready? Are you waiting to go ask that girl or guy out on a date? Are you waiting to go live your dream? Are you waiting to take that sabbatical? Just remember, we all must die. So let me talk about two more things. What am I excited about in life? I'm excited about clients on retainers. Retainers are where a company signs up on a financial basis with you on a monthly basis for access to your intelligence, to your wisdom, to your time. And I got some quotes today. Actually, let me find them. I really thought this was kind of fun. Here we go. And it said, they ain't a customer if they ain't on a retainer. I thought that was kind of funny. And then the person that sent this to me sent me another one that said, it ain't a real retainer if it's easy to break up. So I thought that was kind of funny. What we're looking for, what I'm looking for, is people that want long-term relationships where we can drive. I was talking to a client a little bit, actually it was this weekend, talking about the massive progress that we made in field operations together in one of these kinds of relationships. And when we do this, when we go on retainers, when we do this, and when we look past just scheduling and we look into training and we look into setting up field programs and safety and quality and the development of field staff and field technologies, and we look at building teams and project teams, and these kinds of retainers can be fantastic for companies. So I just wanted to say that's what I'm excited about in life. I got some feedback today, actually by phone call, so you don't know if I'm being honest about this or not. But he said, what I love about the book Elevating Construction Superintendents is that it talks about the mindset of a superintendent and where a superintendent has to be really successful. And I thought I told him I'm really honored, really great feedback. I love that. And Yeah, it's just, I really appreciate that kind of feedback. So here's some conflict. You have people, or you are, or you know of people who are trying to standardize software and not standardize value. So let me just give you a little bit of a reference story here. There was a person that was on a call with me the other day, and we were doing a training together, and he was talking to the instructor and said that they were attempting to standardize this scheduling software to all of the field trades. And the instructor was like, well, have you checked with your field operations? And the answer was no. I just know that there's a couple of people pushing for it. And I spoke up and I was like, please, 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 please do not do this without talking to your field folks, because every company does this wrong. Every company does this wrong. There's a software out there, project management software, that has horrible, garbage safety and quality observation tools where you can't mark up their drawings very well like you could in Bluebeam. There are programs that like literally the whole company, every employee hates, but because the company's put so much money into developing it and aligning it with their systems and training, that they still stick with it still to this day, and they're so far behind their competitors. I'm not going to tell you who these companies are, but it's a glaring example. There's a program, I'll probably get sued for this one, but BIM 360 Plan from Autodesk. Like, it's useful, I guess, with some smaller like pull planning and weekly work planning, but it's just horrible for a lean application. And I remember lean experts, well, anyway, they were supposed to be lean experts, but they kept pawning this off on me and saying, Jason, you have to use BIM 360 Plan for everything, for everything, for everything. And I was like, dude, like, stop it. I'm not going to use this program because the trade partners don't like it. It doesn't work. It doesn't fit with our superintendents. And stop mandating this application. I remember that there's the project management application that took over quality and punch list observations when they used to use BIM 360 Field. And I know that there's probably better applications out there, but I personally loved BIM 360 Field. It was quick. We were able to put things up there, print out the right reports. It had the metrics, the dashboard. It was quick. And I was looking, and this literally happened. I just want everyone on here to know. I was talking to the company continuous improvement department, and they showed me trends of how many people were on average doing observations through BIM 360 Field through Autodesk. And it was in the thousands and thousands and thousands. And then when they switched to this new project management software mandated by the company, it spiked down. It like flatlined to like 20 or something, like something stupid, like 20 in a month versus thousands. And they were like, yeah, when we switched over to this is what happened. And I'm like, well, shouldn't you do something about that? Like, why are we not making this easy for the field? Anyway, like, you can't make this stuff up. I see this every single company. Literally, when I was in, and I've been in field operations my whole career, but field operations, talking to somebody from the continuous improvement group, and they were like, I was like, hey, I send texts and group me texts and WhatsApp texts to the field for continuous improvement for safety and cleanliness on job sites. Can we work together to figure out if this software would work? And literally, I kid you not, this is what I was told. Oh, we in the continuous improvement department have been working on that for a couple of months. We have something that we're about to roll out to the company, and we'll show you. And I was like, were you going to check with us? Were you going to check with the people that are actually out there doing this, that invented the system? And I'm like, example after example. And now I am getting into whining. I need to stop that. But anyway, example after example after example. Just absolutely ridiculous. Just absolutely over the top ridiculous. And it's just so frustrating. It's so frustrating. And here's why it matters. It's going to hurt somebody. When we don't have the safety observations, when we don't have the correction systems, when we don't have the safety reporting, when we don't have the pretest plans, when we don't have the right kind of supportive schedules, when we don't have superintendents with capacity, when we lose focus of keeping people safe, then that's when we're going to hurt somebody. And so that's why these things matter. Everything that we do in an organization matters. And if we start mandating software, there's a chance that we start to drift towards failure and away from the culture and the values that make us who we're supposed to be. And so that it's a really important thing to me, and that's why it matters to me. So our companies are here to take care of a customer. When an IT department or a continuous improvement department or these enterprise groups are like, hey, I'm going to go look good on my individual budgets by getting enterprise licenses and mandating software, what we've done is we've incentivized internal money grabbing and budgeting and looking good in our positions and selfishness instead of taking care of the customer. We really need to make sure that every person on a project is in the best position with the right software to enable the craft and to care for our customers. And so mandating software violates all three of those, actually. So it makes mandating the wrong software in the wrong circumstances with people deciding away from the source is going to upset the person, disrespect the individual, disrespect workers, and then disrespect our customer. If we don't believe in taking care of those three things, what do we believe in? When wimpy leaders, and so if you're doing this in your company, I'm calling you a wimpy leader. Wimpy leaders prioritize budgets over taking care of their people and over taking care of their customers. And so there is no merit in saving a few dollars at the expense of the culture. There is no merit in saving a few dollars at the expense of the individual or the worker. There is no merit to saving a few dollars at the expense of the customer. I'll give you a case in point. DPR Construction, one of my favorite companies ever, they spend quite a bit of money, sometimes even duplicate money, experimenting with software. And people are like, oh, it's wasteful and everything else like that. And I'm thinking to myself, like, for the people that are saying this, I'm like, do you realize that DPR Construction is nearing over $8 billion in total annual revenue in the short period of 30 years with this open and non-hierarchical and less structured system? Do you realize that? Everyone's like, oh my gosh, I have no idea. I have no idea how DPR made it so big so quickly and did so well. But you know what? They should really mandate and standardize all their software and force it down people's throats. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. No, that's not how it works. It was the entrepreneurship, the autonomy, the ability to take care of the customer and people that made them who they are today. And in addition to a number of other things, we need to make sure that we are focused on values and our culture and who we are first before we just go to save a buck. We are totally enabled from an enterprise standpoint to create a minimum standard and to provide a standard, but allow people to innovate. You know, there's a lean concept that says that improvement can only happen in stable systems. Improvement can only happen in stable environments. But we have to remember that there are some companies that will say, here's the minimum standard, and here's about 10 feet of rope, and here's a maximum standard. You can't go any lower than this, but you can't go any higher than this. I've handcuffed you. But the great companies will only provide the minimum standard and allow their people to innovate past that and to custom tailor their solutions when needed to the customer and to the people on the project. So I was once giving feedback to a process improvement person on their 360 review, and I said, "You're doing a fantastic job going 100 miles an hour in the absolute wrong direction." And I put my name behind it. Every time I do a 360 review, I put -Jason, so they know clearly who gave them the feedback. So if they want to hate me, they can hate me. But I said that because the person was super sharp, super able to like decode things and get research done, but would never ask the person in the field during the work what they needed, would just dictate the software, doing an absolute great job of doing the absolute wrong thing. So we shouldn't have people that aren't doing the work deciding what software we use. If IT wants to decide what kind of software that they use, then they need to go out and do the safety walks with that software and see how they like it. If they want to dictate the way that we do quality inspections, then they need to go out, haul their butts out in the field and go do it. They need to be saddled with it. If they want to go do punch lists with a certain type of software, then have them go out in the field, do it. Don't saddle me with that garbage. And if somebody's being arrogant and like, ooh, Jason is wrong, then you're a part of the problem. Like, I'm telling you, like, you are a part of the problem. And what you're doing is hurting people. When I was a DPR and I was a superintendent, I had all the software I needed to do my job. And we absolutely crushed, killed, murdered that project with full fee, quality, on time, healthy people, everyone making their promotions. Best project that customer said that they had ever had, especially that project manager. Totally like a fantastic success. I was using CPM at the time, but I had P6 for my master schedule, anything that I needed, Excel for my tax, Vplanner for pro planning whenever I needed it, Smartsheet for my personal organization, anything that I wanted, Bluebeam for my documents and for my field software, CMIC for project management, which is actually a pretty good application and pretty non-intrusive. BIM 360 Glue for our foreman to see the model, Note Vault for daily reports, super easy and fast. I used text systems for the daily correction systems, and I can just keep going on and on and on and on. And I just was able to do what I needed to do. And when people were like, "Oh, don't use Bluebeam, use this," no, I'm not doing that. Don't use BIM 360 Field for your punch list. Use this. No, I'm going to use what's quick and easy for the superintendents and the foremen, the trade partners, and the workers. This is what we're going to do. And I had all these softwares, and I was able to do my job perfectly, beautifully, quickly, exactly the way I needed to. Especially daily reports, super easy, lots of pictures, just absolutely fantastic. I'm sure there are other ones, but NoVault was the one that I was using at the time. And the point that I'm saying here is some people are like, well, that's like 17 different softwares. Well, here's a surprise for everybody. There's like 100 million, thousand billion things that a superintendent or PM need to know how to do. And if you can't learn the softwares of your trade, then get out of the game, bro. Like, and software people, IT people, process improvement people, stop babying folks. We're not stupid. We can use the right application for the right activity. The problem comes when you're mandating it. That's what happens. There is zero, and I want to repeat this, zero issue with using the right application at the right time in the right process the right way. We need to stop mandating and being so dysfunctional that we tell people to use ineffective systems for everything to make it easy on IT or process improvement. Ain't gonna happen. One time somebody said, "Hey, distill down into three things," meaning what does a superintendent do? Distill that down into three main concepts. And I was so insulted. If you want to be a superintendent, you need to be on top of your game and know personal organization and know scheduling and know quality and be an expert at safety and know how to deal with people and know emotional intelligence. And you need to make sure that you know how to give 100%, hold people accountable. You need to make sure that you have personal drive, vision. And I could just go on and on and on. The role of any construction manager is not simple. So why do you think we're too stupid to use multiple types of applications at the right moment? We're not. Why not? I can just answer that question right there. Let us use what's right for the worker, the customer, and to make our lives easier so we can go home to our families. And I remember there was a safety walk process that came out, and it was like, well, you have to do this. And there's like 7,500 million clicks that you have to make. And here's a card that you have to take with you. And it takes 4 hours. And by the way, it's mandated. Oh, it takes so long, you can only get 4 observations. And oh, by the way, the data really doesn't mean anything. And now this is a company policy. And there were people that were getting like 10, 15, 20, 25 observations a day through my text system. And they switched to this really stupid system, and then people stopped doing the corrections on a daily basis, and the projects got less safe. And I'm like, okay, well, that makes a lot of sense. Somebody really, really smart did something really, really stupid here. Now, this sounds like I'm whining. I'm not. I'm telling you, it happens in almost every company. And we need to push back and to say, hey, IT folks, hey, corporate leadership, hey, process improvement, hey, finance department, hey, whoever does all these things, can you please, at a minimum, check with the field and check with what we need on the project sites to deliver to our customers before you shove something down our throat that's absolutely miserable and doesn't work. And oh, by the way, that you spend like over $1 million a year paying for instead of paying for the training that you need for your people to take care of people. So this sounds like a little bit of a rant. I didn't want it to be. It actually turned out that way. I apologize. But our current condition is that we have absolutely garbage applications being shoved down our throat. If I'm over there on my job using P6, Excel, Vplanner, BIM 360 Field, BIM 360 Plan, Bluebeam, CMIC, BIM 360 Glue, I may have already said that one, NoVol, text systems, all of Smartsheet, all of these applications, the best one's going to win. Like as these program developers, as these software developers start to get better at what they do, the best will win. And what we don't need is somebody selling to corporate, the corporate mandating it and just sticking people with it. We need a little bit of capitalism, a little bit of competition here, and let these applications prove that they're as addictive as Facebook, as useful as YouTube, and as quick as Wikipedia. And when they do that, then we will start to use them. They need to prove it first instead of having it be shoved down people's throats. So the challenge is, work with me. Please share the message. Please stop the reversal of the progress in the construction industry by mandating stupid softwares that reduce our productivity, when what we need is to increase productivity and care for the workers and be more effective in what we do, instead of pandering to the lobbyists out there that are selling ineffective softwares and doing it through the channels which will have it be legislated on the jobs, away from the people who should absolutely make the decisions. On we go.
Please join us next time in elevating the entire construction experience for workers, leaders, and companies coast to coast. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to share with your construction colleagues and help us spread the word by rating, subscribing, and leaving a review on your preferred podcast listening platform. We really appreciate it. We'll catch you next time on the Elevate Construction Podcast.